Hey guys, Robbie. I got a special guest here to say something.
Greetings, this is Wonder Woman. You are watching Pros versus Noobs.
Actually, Wendy, that's supposed to be Pro teaches noobs. I know you like you like to do fighting and everything, but not everything's always.
And today, this is Azula from Avatar The Last Airbender. We're going to teach you how pros do things. They do it better than their brother. They're about to celebrate becoming an only child.
Yeah, I hear you say that a lot, Azula.
Yeah, noobs are just twerps and they all need to go to bed. They sure are. I can't stand a noob. You know who's a noob? Billy from The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I can't stand that guy. But he is my best friend, so whatever.
Oh, way to go, Mandy. So, yeah. What they said. Welcome to Pro Teaches Noobs. Welcome to our lesson of Pro Teaches Noob. Do you have with me? Jared.
Let's get generational.
Yep, we are continuing our coverage of Superman Batman Generations with the second mini. The first one did great, and this one is filling in the gaps. But Jared, tell people about the first one. What you saw, what happened, what it was about.
So basically, the way I kind of took it is that it's kind of trying to give like a timeline throughout like all of the like decades of DC. And what the series does really well is how each issue, at least of the first series, is like taking place within a certain decade of comics. And what Byrne does extremely well, credit where credit is due, is all those issues feel like they're written in that era.
Exactly. Now the artwork may be consistent, but throughout it all, but yeah.
But the overall tone and such really carries over really well.
When it gets dark, it got dark.
It got really dark, and there's stuff in this that when I was when we were going over that, I was like, "Oh, that's clever."
Yep, definitely. And then I like how it ends full circle, like right a decade before everything happened.
Yeah, I know. I like that a lot. I like that a lot.
But now we're getting the follow-up where it's every 11 years. So let's go look back. So the first one was 1939. So basically we are now picking up, and at least for the first year, we are 3 years after. Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, we're up for 3 years after. So let's see. Then it's going to be increasing it more so every time. But basically this fills in gaps. Mm-hmm. We're looking up. We open up right away with Hawkman leading the Blackhawks.
Hell yeah.
Think about that. Like, oh!
By the way, I love that rendition of the mace. How instead of it being like a solid thing, it's a flail.
It's a flail. And look at this.
That is so cool.
Now this is around the time of Superman, Batman. Batman, Captain America, which we will go over eventually.
Hell yeah, I'm down for that. I love that.
Because that is canon. It is canon. They can't reference it except for when they mention how they last saw Joker with a nuke. Mm-hmm. But yeah, now, this is supposed to be the Ultra Humanite. Now, who is the Ultra Humanite, dude? He's
essentially inhabiting the body of Lex, right?
Yep, but because no one else knows that, he's wearing a shroud over himself.
Like Cobra Commander.
Yep. Cobra!
Cobra!
Yep. Oh, and there's Alan Scott.
Hell yeah.
Now, this will flesh out more about Alan here because, we'll get that. And there's the Spectre. And this is going along with, like I said, but Byrne puts it best in the intro in this issue, that he includes the glitches, the things that don't make sense. Like, for example, what was Superman's powers in action number 1?
He could leap tall buildings in a single bound.
But how is that inconsistent, though? What's the big?
There were some of the panels around that time period that kind of made it look like he was flying.
Not just that. What did he do as Superboy?
He flew.
Despite the fact that makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely no sense whatsoever. But he's like, who cares? That's how it is. I am sticking true to those glitches. Mm-hmm. Like how you can have a Jarvis Pennyworth and an Alfred Pennyworth, and yet no explanation. Mm-hmm. But yep, so of course you have all of this. You have the Blackhawks, and one of the Blackhawks ends up crashing. And then, sorry I'm late, friends. This seems to have been Herr Hitler's day to strike on several fronts. Look at Superman and the Spectre teaming up.
I love
and again,
that.
this is old school Spectre, where he actually was a hero, not God's spirit of vengeance.
Okay.
Right down to, look, stretchy hand.
Right, there was a level in DC Online where the Spectre inhabited you, and you fought Eclipso as the Spectre.
Oh, that's nice.
It's so first it inhabited Hal Jordan, then Oliver Queen, and then you.
Nice. But yeah, so he captures the Ultra Humanite. You're no American Superman, as your reaction to my radiation device proves. But then, of course, right, we said, who are you? He then simply says, looking deeply into my eyes, like he said as Lex, but because he can't tell it's Lex, he's able to know it's the Ultra Humanite, but that's it. So he's including an extra meeting of the two without clashing with his continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lead line mask, too.
Yeah.
Although, I always never understood, how can it be a lead line fabric?
Yeah, I know. It's
That's a comic cliche that existed.
That's comic/cartoon.
Oh, and look
there's
who,
a lady.
Yep, we have all this, and she's ready to come in. Why? Because of World War II.
That also works if you're not doing the Steve crash land.
Oh
thing.
well, there is a connection to Steve, but not like. But see, she's making the decision. We're getting ready to leave and everything. We don't see Steve. We don't see him.
Okay, so in other words, World War II started her desire to leave.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we see Lois sneaking now because we saw the Ultra Humanite here. We're seeing Lex here. He's putting back on the guys as Lex. So ready to abduct him and everything. Basically, he was able to make it back to the States. But then finally, notice who we haven't seen yet. Where's Batman? There he is. So we're having Lex deal with Batman, and there's Robin. He gets out. Turns out it was the Batmobile was being remote controlled. But yeah, so he gets out, fights, and it turns out one of the goons was Batman in disguise.
Okay, there you go.
I love it.
And I love how he has the goon mask over his bat mask, and it doesn't screw up. I'm like, okay, but it's comics of the era. That's fine.
I sure wish you told me. And risk Lutzker using actually I should do the and risk Luther using truth serum on you if you got captured, which you did, old chum. I'm adding the old chum.
That's better.
Now this you and I talked about before, but I loved it. This actually was something that happened in the pre-crisis, at least referenced at least once. Why did Clark never go into World War II? Because even as a journalist, he got over-eager and saw the eye chart in the next room.
So good. So it's like, in other words, it was by accident that he.
Yeah, he was just like, he read it, and it's like, you are way off the mark, even with your glasses on.
Yeah, because I always wondered, because Clark would do that, if not as Superman, but as a journalist. But I'm like, you know what? That is a scenario that would happen to Clark, so I accept that.
Yeah, so he's like, let's do this. You are way off the mark. Wait, what? Oh, no. But how can he tell them? How can he get them? Oh, I saw the chart.
So it's like, oh, okay. But I'm like, okay, that's a Clark Kent thing.
Yep, of course, Lois smoking. We already know what that would lead to. But again, back then, you were encouraged to smoke up. Did you know a lot of the actors who smoked in movies were actually paid to do it?
I figured, yeah.
Now, remember one character we did not see at all throughout the first mini? Commissioner Gordon.
Okay.
He shows up.
Oh.
And it turns out he also reveals he already figured out he was Batman long ago. He said, my oldest friend, he was gunned down by a robber. And 19 years later, just about the time his son comes into his inheritance, the Batman makes his first appearance in Gotham City. All right, Jim, no more pretending, but what do you need? Because of what I've discovered since I left Gotham. Because of the head of the demon. He's the one who sent Batman on the path to find Ra's. Okay. Now, just to make this clear, this is the JSA. The JLA gets their own intro, but now, I love this. Now, how was Supergirl created? By accident, but what was the original story? Time displaced.
Okay, yeah.
So they actually have that here. Where this is the one Diana, younger Diana.
I was about to ask because I was like, is that Donna?
No, there's no Donna here.
Okay.
But yep, because it turns out that where's Diana? He's off having a baby.
Okay.
Now remember, 11 years have passed. So in real time, again, just like before, a lot can happen. Like remember, the first time we see Lois, in the first chapter. Next chapter, she's very pregnant with her first kid because 10 years passed. Same thing here. Only here, also at the same time, Lois is pregnant with her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so of course they're all trying to feel like Bruce wants to go after Raish. Everyone else is like, no, this is a wild goose hunt and a goose chase and everything. And I do love this though. Like, yes, with Superman off planet, he's off planet at the moment, and the Flash retired. Not to mention Wonder Woman replaced by a movie while the real one has her baby. Please, Green Arrow, let's not start that again. As I have repeatedly explained, you're some kind of magical projection created by Queen Apollo using Amazon technology. We know that, Diane. It's just a little difficult for some of us to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's Edda.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Now, yeah, Superman's off helping out people while Steve is still on a mission because there's still stuff to be fought overseas and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Superman's helping out this one guy while Lois is both Diana and Lois are in labor.
Okay.
But right now they're at the moment where it's more like, okay, just wait for the contractions to get closer. So that's where they're both at the moment. Oh, and there's Jimmy and Lucy. And I just love it. Like, don't you think it's time you start calling him Clark? He is your brother-in-law after all. Old habits die hard. So by now, Jimmy knows the truth. Okay. Now, what is the unfortunate thing here about with and Joel? What is the sad part? He's been he got depowered. Oh, if you notice, you can see the chain of the necklace that has the red solar necklace on it. Yeah, you can barely make it out, but that's clearly what it is under her shirt, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I love it. So sure it's a girl. Call it a reporter's instinct. That and Clark having used his X-ray vision to make sure this pendant I'm wearing was preventing little Kara from developing superpowers. In other words, Clark got a little overeager and it's like, yep, she's fine. Oh, whoops.
Okay.
I wish we could have seen that because that is so Clark, right?
Yeah.
Yep. She looks fine. Oh, whoops.
Particularly if it's this Clark who unintentionally flunked an eye exam.
Yeah, I'll be like, whoops, Clark. But it'll always be actually like, oh, you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Batman is of course like his son and granddaughter have already been to the hospital to visit him. She's quite the little pistol, that Barbara. Full of questions about why Gordon came to Wayne Manor and not to his son's house. Yet she's she's 9, but Barbara is 9 by this point. This is going with him being his Barbara's the granddaughter.
Okay.
Which makes sense given what we're gonna see. Mm-hmm. Oh, but yeah, Superman is still helping out. We meet Abin Sur.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just to make clear, this ring never goes to hell. In fact, this ring never goes to Earth.
Interesting.
We'll get to that. But yeah, they got word that something had happened to Steve. And what happened? Not good.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
A missile hit him before he could eject.
Oh, my gosh. That's saying not good. That's an understatement.
Yep, and not only that, though. But of course, she's like, the purple ray. I'll fly in there and heal him. He's gone. Mm-hmm. But yep, so they take.
Yay!
Oh, come on, not this version.
I'm only kidding.
Yep. Any other version? Yes. This one, come on.
Like any version written by Tom King. All right.
Yeah, which is one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is where he meets up with Abin Sur. Oh, I love this. You really shouldn't be pacing like that, Diana. Can't be good for the baby. I can't just sit and fume either, and Edda. I love how she just says, I can't just sit and fume. It's just like, either way, it's not going to be very well. But, of course, woo, that's what she always said in that. Which, I would say, this is why I enjoyed the movie version of Edda. She's that perfect balance.
Oh, the movie version was peak. That was great.
Yeah, she was. She has not exactly the same look, but not far off. And yet, but
she has the personality of Etta. That is Etta.
The personality, but not as comedic.
Yeah, where Morrison went too far in the comedic direction.
But of course, they were basing off of Rebel Wilson, so.
God, yeah.
Yep, but and then Lois is, of course, giving birth. But here's what we find out. My ring itself told me the whole thing. And this lantern was shaped by a man who was incarcerated in a mental institute, a man whose insanity was restored when the lantern shone. That's fulfilling the second part of the ancient prophecy. Basically connecting it all in. But basically, at first, they were like, but wait, this ring is no different.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's Kara. Now remember, unfortunately, because of everything with Joel, they have to keep Clark being Superman's secret.
Oh,
Can you blame him?
No.
Because, yeah, he would get jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Which we really know that happens, but and this is what they find out about Steve's death.
Mm-hmm.
So why did she immediately name her kid Stephanie? Why? So she can name her Stevie.
Okay, that's how that works.
Mm-hmm. And I always loved it.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would happen.
Yep, exactly. And of course, even asked, like, why didn't she warn Steve before he even left for Korea? I'm only an image of my older self as a teenager, Etta. Though Diane and I have the same personality, she does not share my memories. In other words, she's a projection, not time displaced.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they wouldn't know.
That works. I like that.
Aww.
Okay, I like that.
He was only 40.
They would all be there to support Diana.
Yep, and he was only 40.
Oh, man. Young guy.
Yep, but now we jump ahead and now to 1964. So 5 years after that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you recall, we never find out who Mrs. Wayne is because it's up in the air. It's whoever you want it to be. Is it Selena? Is it Julie? It's either one of those. It's not Talia, though.
It's not Talia. Yeah, exactly.
It's not Talia. It's Silver never shows up, so it's either Julie or Selena. But as Burns said, both of them had contradictions to each other.
Yeah, so it's like just pick one.
Yep, just pick one. But of course, she is against him, Bruce Wayne Jr. being Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Completely against it. But where ironically, Clark and Lois are completely in favor of Kara being Supergirl.
Yeah, exactly. Which that would work. That would logically follow.
Mm-hmm. I do like also continues on because that's just a costume.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're going out there, so it's like, yeah, we still can't tell who she is. Mm-hmm. But of course, Joel has already met up with Lex, and obviously he's already being turned against them. Mm-hmm. And it turns out what he do? He transported himself to meet with Lex, who he's seeing as his real father because he's telling the truth, even though we already know he's doing nothing but lying.
Yeah.
That's what makes this so bittersweet, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Because you know where all this ends up.
Exactly. But it's nice to fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Oh,
of course.
Oh, man.
Yep. Oh, yep. Like brings up about the wig.
Yeah, the wig. Knowing what happens with that, I'm like,
Yep, Dad made it so it's electronically, statically. She said, I love what she's doing because you know a kid is trying to repeat what her dad said.
Yeah, I love that.
It's like, it's electrostatically bonded to my bioelectric aura. It will come off if I push my glove up under it, but otherwise, the only way it comes off is if I'm dead. Don't even think it, Kara. But of course, it's like, worse, she forbade me from ever teaming up with Dick. BJ, did she by any chance forbid you to team up with me? Now, we're about to get an interesting handle on the Batman-Batgirl relationship.
Oh, boy.
Because this is Dick.
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
Yep. And remember now, so 11 years at bat, so now she will be in her 20s.
Mm-hmm. Again, if that's Dick Grayson, it's appropriate.
Yep, you have to do a lot better than that if you expect to catch me flat-footed. Nice one, bat chick. But you better have more than that going for you. You're right, and I do.
Oh yeah, there you go. And the use of the clock as the only thing that changes to show what the.
It's obvious. And then
really well.
I could get grounded for life for this. I love when people do capture like that. That has nothing to do with here, but it's almost ironically fitting.
Yeah, but it's something that's like from a certain point of view, it is from that page.
Yep. Oh, and then there's there's Wally.
I like that. I like that Kid Flash costume.
Yeah, it's a mixture of Kid Flash with Flash. And now that's Weather Wizard, but for whatever reason, Weather Wizard looks on the younger side here.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It's one of the weird artistic stuff here, but not. Say goodnight, Gracie. Oh, buddy, make some illusions, because why? Teaming up with Mirror Master. Basically, we're getting the Teen Titans, only they're not really the Teen Titans. Oh, and look! Right out of the shower!
Yep, there you go.
Oh, I just realized something. BG, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. Her initials practically given away!
I wonder if they intended that.
I don't know, but yeah, the fact these two team up. Now there's Diana, where's Stevie? No, Barry, sorry. Does he really think, and does he have a reason to think Kid Flash might be in trouble, Mother? I heard that, Diana. And no reason, just a hunch. He was supposed to meet me here tonight, and he's more than 2 hours late. I thought he might have hooked up with Stevie again. Should we now? Diana is a bit just as overprotective of Stevie as Hippolyta was for her.
That makes sense.
Especially with what happened to Steve.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, again, this is doing the whole Diana being a mom way better than a certain other comic writer.
And look, she's using the sandals of Hermes like Cassie.
Yeah, I love that.
Yep. But yeah, of course you have Grodd. But look at this Grodd.
I like that. He looks very evil.
Yep, shows up. Now, she gets zapped, and then Stevie feels it. Turns out these two have a psychic bond because they were two superpower beings born on the same day in the same hospital. They're linked. I like that. Yep, but yeah, they get it. They save the day and everything. And I love it. It's like, great, we could be the Junior Justice Society. Eck. Society always sounded to me like a bunch of old ladies having tea. Well, maybe more like a Little League or something. That's the joke of where Justice League came from. Like the baseball league.
Well, yeah, and that's also why Julius Schwartz, when they pushed for like to be called Justice League, that's why they made the name change, because he goes, kids aren't gonna like the word society.
And they're representing it here.
I like that. That's awesome.
So instead of the Teen Titans, they're the Justice League of America.
All right, that makes sense.
And it's a name we can even use after we're adults ourselves. I just look at Kara. She's just like, yeah. Just look at that. But it's like, maybe we should wait until I tell my mom first. Now, here we jump to after Dick's death. Now, tell people how brutal that death was.
If you thought Jason Todd's death was brutal.
Oh, this was worse. Turns out Joker planned it for 10 years, and now he's actually saw it because Dick did such a good job transitioning from Bruce. Even Joker thought he was Batman, the real Batman.
Yeah, and just to make sure I remember correctly, that's the one where like he exposed Dick to hallucinogen thing, and then had the
razor blades
guns.
Yep, in razor blades too. So Dick was sliced and shot,
and then machine guns. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh god.
And then what did BJ do? He then swapped costumes and said he didn't kill Batman. He killed Robin. But now Joker has been driven insane. Something is haunting him. Meanwhile, we're seeing Hal Jordan. This is when he's still younger. He's not president yet. But we're getting some stuff of him up in the air. There's Carol and everything. Oh, look. Gordon's still alive. He's over almost 100. I love this, though. It's like, and everything. Now, of course, but we're not going to see Barbara much anymore after this, unfortunately. But was Dick gone, really? Is there much of a point?
No.
Yeah, but we find out Joker, something is haunting him. So, it's nice to see these two when they're in adults before the disaster of the wedding. Oh, look! Dr. Occult!
Oh, okay.
Who better to go to than one of the greatest skeptics? And they bring Deadman along.
All right, that's cool.
Yep. Oh, I love this. To prove what he could do, he hops in this old doctor. Whoop, de whoop.
It makes him do gymnastics. That's great.
Yep. So he hops in here, and we find out
that's the Joker's mind. That's so good.
But we find out he's been haunted by Dick.
Oh, that's
Dick
so good.
is torturing him
That is so
because
good.
of how brutal his death was.
That is so good.
Now we find out after everything that happened, Hal decides, I'm retiring from being a pilot. He and Carol get together and he's going to enter politics.
Oh, yeah, because he becomes the president, right?
Yep. But yeah, so all of this is haunting him. And Bruce and here was like, well, yeah, it could have happened to a better guy. It's not right for Dick to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He should not tarnish his legacy, even in death, killing the Joker.
I like that.
So, but what did they decide? Alfred, who was a ghost, sacrifices him being around Bruce to take Dick over to the other side.
Oh, I like that.
Because even he doesn't want to see Dick do this. So it's like, all right, I was good with Bruce, but I'm going to leave. Even though I know I'm closing the door behind me when I'm doing this, someone has to take Dick's over. And then, but the stress was too much that Joker's going to die. But then Bruce puts on the costume one more time. And like, you came, but I knew you would. I knew you could have let me die alone after all the fun we've had together. Fun? After all these years, you still don't get it, do you, Joker? You're a murderer, Joker, and the last man you killed was like a son to me. Does any of that matter now, Batman? I'm dying, and all I want from you at the end is one small favor. A favor? Yes, a peek under the mask of yours, a confirmation of what I've always suspected. Something that will allow an old man to die happy. That's all it would take. You come to the wrong place if you're looking for serenity. You're the last man on earth I would ever want to see die happy. Mm-hmm. How's that?
I love that. That's so good.
He doesn't kill him, but he lets him die miserably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Now we're up to after like the 80s. So this is after Lois Clark lost everything.
Okay.
And this is him during one of his times going after Luthor. Mm-hmm. And look what he does to torture him. Every place he goes keeps showing off these images just to remind him of it. Mm-hmm. Don't I dearly wish I could be there to see your face, Superman. Another projection? Not this time, but a even more dramatic example of my computing imaging skill. An interactive image of myself, created to react perfectly to anything you might do or say. Oh, so that's all we see of Superman, because we already know he was obsessed with Lex. Mm-hmm. Now, remember what we had before. After Joel's death, BJ took over raising young Clark and married Joel's and Maylee, Joel's wife, so they can keep up the charade. But she does help. I think this is Byrne filling in the gap because, like, wait, what? And then it's like, no, he needs her, and she is just
That is a cool ass Batmobile.
It is, and his outfit is great. Now, as we already know, BJ's losing it.
Yeah.
He's going, like, you thought Bruce losing it after losing Jason was bad. Oh, no. This is worse. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, Stevie, I know I'm the new kid, so we got another Flash. This is, Carrie.
Okay. Wait, Carrie?
Again, no, just Carrie. Just plain Carrie.
All right.
But a lot has changed since he was Robin and you were Wonder Girl. I'm well aware of that, Carrie. Bruce held on for as long as he could, but the murder of Supergirl on their wedding day has finally driven him over the edge. He held on nearly 3 years, and we all prayed it would not happen. Now, be clear, Alan is still active because the ring keeps him young.
Okay.
I know. He has turned increasingly away from Semis and even more towards Mars. No need to drag your gods into this, Wonder Woman. And Batman put 6 bystanders in the hospital chasing Hyena, and the villain still escaped. I know, Alan, I know. The time cannot be any longer postponed. Carrie, gone. She was out the door before you finished speaking, Stephanie. That is not good. She's too young and inexperienced to face the Batman alone. And even they're trying to say, like, Alan, you're still, even with the ring, he's keeping you young. You're too old. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. So, yeah, in other words, he's the 80s bruiser Batman. But they're treating it like, they are treating it like it is. This is not good. So
he's kind of like Azrael Batman?
Thereabouts, but it's more of a case of just to typical 80s Batman that everyone thought was good, but made clear this isn't good.
Okay, I see.
Like they said, putting him in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I love how some people are telling him off, but then the citizens are all like, hey, don't talk bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Batman. Carrie did that to taunt him. But of course, even though she's the Flash, she's too young, too inexperienced. So of course, BJ can handle her.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense, doesn't it? It's like she's not experienced. Also, no Speed Force here.
Okay, I see.
But oh yeah, now the hyena is supposed to be an original villain who's basing herself off of all the different villains. You know, like all the different schemes, everything. She's trying to make a name for herself.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, BJ shows, oh look, henchman, goon.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
But of course, look at this. He is battering her. But Alan shows up. Now remember, Alan has his one weakness, wood. Mm-hmm. So what did he do? He uses his knuckles to send up a whole bunch of wooden sharp all over him, defeating his power.
Okay, there you go.
But now Steph is just like, now please surrender peacefully before I enforce to do the same to you. Don't get too cocky, Stevie. You're only half what your mother was, which is still more than any mortal, Batman. Face me as a warrior if you dare, without your foolish tricks. Okay, Wonder Woman, but first let's even the odds a little, shall we? You may only be half Amazon, but your gods have bound you to the same rules. And that means you lose your powers when your bright sets are chained together by a man. Fighting skills come from training, not power, Batman. And my strength is still greater than a normal human. Your skills and training is too focused to be of use against someone who's a master in almost every fighting technique there is. And I thank you for the reminder, Batman. But is this truly the way you want it all to end? I am not without compassion. I understand your pain. Do you? You weren't even here when Kara died. You spent 1,000 years in ancient Greece after we beat Tempest. When you came back, our world had changed more than you could ever know. I was gone only 3 years, your time, Batman. But that is of no consequence with my psychic link to Kara. I felt her absence, almost as a physical wound. Don't invoke your voodoo, Stevie. I was the one who first guessed you and Kara shared some kind of link, remember? But that gives you no right to pass judgment on me. Batman, that's enough. Enough? There is no crime left on Earth. I mean, is there no crime left on Earth? Have all the miserable scum-sucking maggots been wiped out? Can decent people walk the street without fear? Is Kara alive again? Is she? Is she? Batman, stop! You're killing him! You're killing him! No. No! See what I mean?
He's kind of like Batman 1,000,000.
To a degree, but also, like I said, this is taking up what people felt how the post-crisis Batman got at his worst.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, help me, Melee. I don't know what I mean anymore. Oh, see what I mean? He needs her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is in 97 now. Like, wow. So this is what you've been working on secret all these months. Yep, a brand new Batmobile for a brand new Batman. He's ready to pass he is expecting to pass the title on to Clark, who has been Robin. But he's like, but what? You've been training all your life for this moment. For the moment, yes, but not the part. Time I showed you something, Dad. And that's when he becomes Nightwing.
Okay, that's cool.
Now we find out he actually, now remember this. When Clark talked about being from the house, about not being, he does not know that he is, he does not know he's an L, but he does know he's adopted, that he's not BJ's son.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love that, well, it has a good ring to it, Clark. I'll say that much, but why? Because it's something Mom said a long time ago, that only one who has the blood of the Waynes could be the next Batman. What? But Clark guy, oh, come on, Dad. You didn't think you and Mom talked in Vietnamese was going to keep the secret from me forever, did you? As soon as you put me into school, I found another kid who spoke the language. And from that point on, you and Mom had no secrets from me. One day, about 10 years ago, I confronted her with my knowledge, and she confessed that you met her after the war, after I was born. Don't sweat it, Dad. You've been all the father I could ever wish for. I like how he's still upbeat about it. It's like, all right. He's still a good father to me. Garrett? Still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
I'm just grabbing some food.
All right, but did you hear what I said? How he's all upbeat about it and everything. It's just like, hey, you're the best dad I could ever wish for. Still, he also is like, why isn't he becoming Batman? Because he's not a Wayne. But yeah, now we see that Sinestro is coming. Sinestro is finally making a move. He's been attacking the Guardians. He's sworn to kill the current Green Lantern. So he is coming there to go after for Hal and for Kyle, because Kyle is the current Green Lantern at the moment. But yeah, so he then they show up, and right as they're doing that, someone is attacking. Someone named looking for looks like our pal Ransack, an original villain, is attacking. So we're now starting to get to some original villains here besides Hyena. And basically he was someone that BJ and Clark put away, but she's basically attacking everything. She is just going, nutso, because why? Her father had was the original and he raised her. So she's deciding to go for revenge. Meanwhile, we're seeing well, I think this is supposed to be Blackhawk, the daughter of or granddaughter of Hawkman, joining in. Also, Carrie is obviously a lot older now from what we had seen before. But yeah, so big, and while they're dealing with Sinestro, Nightwing is Clark is dealing with Ragnarok. Meanwhile, we're seeing that because he's still in the Phantom Zone, Clark with Zod and the others are watching, unable to do anything. But yeah, so we have a moment where Ragnarok is actually able to stop Nightwing, have him down. It's taking a few moments to get up, but we see Clark. Turns out he's able to figure out something that none of the Phantom Zoners ever could. He can project himself into in the real world for even a moment, even just a moment, to distract her and buy Clark enough enough of a moment. Now only Amanda, that's the woman in the suit, could see him, not Clark. But so he was able to take an electric core stuff and then knocks her all out. So now to make it clear, Amanda is 18 by this point. So because he was that she couldn't have been more than 12 years old when Batman and I sent her dad to prison 6 years ago. So they defeated her. She's locked up. We see Kyle has been battered. All of the others, Carrie and Blackhawk are all down. So yeah, they're heading on over there, and wouldn't you know it, Sinestro zaps Alan. Now here's the thing: Hal was offered the ring, but he refused because he was being president. So now he's decided, fine, I'll pick it up. What I should have done decades ago. And then he actually fights Sinestro, who has a yellow ring, and at the end makes a good point, like, your ring had the same yellow weakness that was the downfall of all Green Lanterns. See how the beam of my ring annihilates yours? Only because I let it, Sinestro. Funny thing is, Alan Scott thought his ring had a weakness against wood. Kyle Rayner only thought there was a yellow weakness because that's what the Guardians told him. But I'm betting the only real weakness the ring has lies in the strength of will of the person using it. No, it can't be. And I'm betting my will is stronger than yours. You guessed correctly.
That right there is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yep, you guessed correctly, Hal Jordan of Earth. Now keep in mind, this is before Green Lantern Rebirth.
Oh, wow.
Keep that in mind. The power of the Green Lantern Corps is a terrible weapon in the wrong hands. We knew we must create a way to prevent a Green Lantern from using the ring improperly. So you lied to them? You cooked up this fake yellow weakness, and they all died because of it. And you want my husband to join you? Yes. The Green Lantern Corps must be rebuilt. Your husband has shown he has the metal to make a fine Green Lantern. But I don't understand. Why would the ring form out of wood when I had it, if the weakness is something you made up? Recall this moment, Alan Scott of Earth. The first time you used your ring, though you stopped knives and bullets, you were felled by a man with a wooden club. Yes, never even saw him coming. And you guessed it was because he used a wooden club that your ring didn't stop him. You created accidentally the same kind of mental block the Guardians set up on purpose. Indeed so. What is your answer, Hal Jordan of Earth? Will you help us rebuild the core? Well, hell, you can't. You're almost 70 years old. The ring can make me young again, honey. But this isn't something I have any intention of jumping into without thought. Which we know is why it takes a little more time for Kyle to still be around. But yeah,
That was so well done.
Yep. Again, the fact Burns thought of something before Johns did.
Mind blown.
Yep. But now we get what we think is Metallo. We think it is the brain in a jar. And all these other robots have protected, put him in there, and he's going in for the attack. By the way, now we're having the great-grandson, I believe, of Barry. Jay is his name. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks, Uncle Barry, and you too, Mom and Dad. So this is Wally's kid, I should say. But yeah, and we also find out that in the in-between time, Clark and Amanda got together while she was in prison. So yeah, they're feeling like, sorry, this was impetuous, but we both saw Annie Hall, and we both know it can sometimes be best to get that first kiss out of the way before the anticipation overwhelms the moment. But yeah, basically it's like, I thought you, and we were past that, Amanda. Besides, it could have been a lot more if you hadn't testified on my behalf. And you're right. I was just a kid who couldn't believe how bad her beloved father really was. Still, it's going to make a strange story to tell our grandchildren. I think you're skipping a couple of steps there, sweetheart. I love that. But yeah, now by this point, I believe Byrne knew he was going to work on a third part because he's setting up plot points here for that. For example, Mrs. Wayne is summoning both Bruce and BJ. Now, if you remember now, Bruce is immortal. If those of you didn't see it, he's immortal because it turns out if two strong-willed people in this version enter the Lazarus pit, they merge, sacrificing one's immortality to make the other one true immortal. You remember that?
Yep.
Yep, but yeah, I love it. But not too bad, surprisingly. And I don't have to ask how you feel. You hardly look a day older than the day you did on our wedding day. Hard to believe that was almost 60 years ago. If rejuvenation can be said to have a downside, it's that it makes it even harder to believe so many years have gone by. I can imagine. But yeah, this sets up saying that, but now we're all three together again. And before I break the family up for the last time, there's one last thing I have to tell the two of you. We won't get down till partway through the third miniseries. But yeah, so we have Metallo going around as the now super-powered Clark is coming in to fight him with kryptonite. But of course, it's nowhere near as effective at him because as he was before. Also, this is the fifth Flash. The fact we got Cyborg. Because this would fit the time frame pretty well. And since there's no Teen Titans, who better to have on the Justice League? Again, before Jeff! But then we then see the current president is contacting someone. Unfortunately, Metallo is overwhelming everyone. And then Hal shows up. And we find out. You want to guess who Metallo is?
Let's see.
It's Lex's brain. His
Wait,
brain had to go
what?
some. It's Lex's brain. Remember, his brain was removed and the Ultra Humanite was put in. Where did Lex's brain go?
That's true. That is so cool.
So he is Metallo. And all of these were people and were creation of the Ultra Humanite. Like in our original forms, a robot created to serve that entity. But they evolved. And they were trying to help Lex. Unfortunately, though, he snapped, finding out that 69 years had passed. But yeah, so we see Amanda and Clark get together. I love it. Who's the ring bearer? Hal, right here. That's an appropriate job if there ever was one. But now we jump to 2019, but it turns out Clark had come back to Earth. Why? Turns out he left a message. There's a message that's been put into the old. Now, if you remember in pre-crisis, Superman had this old machinist Superboy. He can see through time, different points in history.
Yeah, I do.
Yep. Well, the I love it. What is this? A Kryptonian TV set? It's a chronoscope. But turns out, okay, Jonathan Kent left a message. Hello, son. I hope I got them working this dang contraption right. Jonathan Kent, he looks just as he did the first time I met him. This message was recorded only 2 months after that, Bruce, although it wasn't until last week that Clark found it. There was some kind of beeper alarm set to go off 99 years after Great-Grandpa Kent made this recording. Took me almost a day to figure out where the noise was coming from. Guess Pa figured out the dang contraption after all. Now let's listen to what he has to say. If I've done what I've done and what I think I've done, I set the chronoscope to show you some important moments, son. But not until 99 years have gone by. Don't think it would be right for anyone to know about this before then. I just know you'll be here to see this when the time comes. So we find out that during the time Clark, now this is set even before 1929. This is 1919. So this is before the deaths of the Waynes. So we see that Clark is showing everything about he knows about his future. He's basically saying how, hey, this is me as Superman. Oh, and who's that guy? That guy got a scary edge to him. That's Batman. He and I will be best friends. What led to this? He's got Bruce Wayne. Oh, I wonder why he does it. Well, that's sad. His parents are going to be gunned down when he's 9 years old. 9 years old? But he looks the same age as you, Clark. As Superman, I mean. You don't mean to tell me. That's right, Pa. Thomas and Martha Kent and Wayne will be killed this year. Just a couple of months from now, in fact. So they said, it must be Bruce. His father is a doctor. Maybe he's coming around. Dr. Thomas Wayne is coming there to open a clinic. Well, we have to warn him then. Warn Dr. Wayne about what's going to happen. What? Yes, this is all real, Bruce. I never told you about this before because I thought we failed. Basically they go into this mission thinking, let's warn him. And it's a case where, now, a lot of times when they try to deal with changing time, history keeps holding on to it, no matter what. Like, Superboy went back in time to try and prevent Abraham Lincoln's death. But when he went back in time, he ended up seeing adult Lex Luthor, who was time traveling. He froze him in there thinking, you were coming after me. I bet you because your future self told you to come where I was at, and you came here. Well, I'm not going to stop it. But then because Superboy couldn't do anything to stop Lincoln, and then stop it. Lex looks down, he's like, wait, you wouldn't come after me? You were here to stop. But I may be bad, but I didn't wish that on him. Oh my gosh. And then he went back and turned himself in. I'm not making that up, dude. That really happened.
Let me guess. That was in the Silver Age.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Oh, look, Superboy! And even as a kid, he had the Superboy voice. Oh, and yeah, this is the Ultra Humanite again, before though. So he's able to walk and move and everything. But yeah, so of course we see the Ultra Humanites ready to abduct the Waynes. So of course, Superboy goes in to stop him, but he is overwhelmed by the Ultra Humanite. So of course they're able to, big flight. Bruce breaks out now because this is before the deaths of his parents. He's not even Robin or anything by this point. But he did meet Harry Houdini, who taught him a few tricks. And what did he see? A little costume thing. So he decides to help him by becoming the Flying Fox. And what is a Flying Fox? It's a type of bat. So we're seeing, even before the death of his parents, Bruce had what it takes. I love this. This is so great, cute, isn't it?
Yeah, I like seeing even before they became their mantles, they kind of were their mantles.
Yep, exactly. And what led to the Ultra Humanite losing control of his legs? Pumpkin showing up and shooting his device.
America!
But now at this point, because it looks like the Waynes are leaving, like I wish I could. And Clark flies off to take him away. So he thinks we failed. It didn't work. We didn't have time to tell him. Nope. Paul Kent actually says like, I'd like a few words with you, Dr. Wayne, when you're done with that. So first he tells Thomas Superboy's his son, and then he shows him the device. He even says, sometimes the machine shows both of you being shot. Sometimes the shock of you dying is too much for your wife's weak heart. But don't you see, Wayne, that the future isn't absolutely set? You can avoid that fate because you know it's coming. Let me see those images of Bruce as Batman again. Sure about why? That costume. It reminds me of one I wore just last Halloween. Yep, they kept that.
Yep, there you go.
They kept the costume. Yep.
Oh,
but of course,
yeah.
They kept that, but then, if all this is true, I have no reason to doubt it. Bruce Wayne will become Batman because of what happens in 57 days. If I now take steps to avoid that event, there will be no Batman. And so he left to go back to Gotham and his wife and son. And I only wish I'd better understood what his last words meant. No, this can't be going where I think. All this is the part I didn't know. Just keep watching, Bruce. Oh, Jonathan, did you see this awful story in the paper? No, dear, what? But I warned him. I warned him. I've got to find out what happened. What went wrong? Are you ready, darling? Yes. You're certain this is the night, Thomas? Yes. Just a few hours from now. Then let's not talk about it anymore. We've made up our minds. What must be, must be. For the good of the city, darling. Perhaps the whole world. Come along, father. We're going to be late. And we wouldn't want that, would we? Knowing how much you love Douglas Fairbanks. Just to make clear, I guess realize there was one thing I missed. At the end of one of the issues, Bruce actually said something about the way his parents talked to him made it seem like they knew what was coming.
Okay.
Yep, right here. Like he says, like when I told him that. At some point, just the feeling I've had since the night my parents were killed, that my father somehow knew it was going to happen. He did. But it's like, but there's something your mother and I want to say, son. We might not have the chance later. What is it, Father? That we love you, Bruce. Sometimes with all of our business and charities and things keeping us busy, we might not have said that as often as we should. But it's true. We love you very, very much. And you must never forget that, son, no matter what might happen. Now go and tell Alfred to bring the car around. Yes, Father. This is the right thing to do, isn't it, Thomas? It seems almost sinful to walk willingly to one's death, to leave Bruce alone. He won't be alone. I've told Alfred to always take care of our son. And now there's something I need to say to you, my darling. Something I've always been lax about saying with all my other concerns. You don't need to, Thomas. You might not say the words, but your actions say for you every day. And I love you too, with all my heart. They knew. Somehow I always had a strange feeling, but this is the part Paul wanted me to see. The part he never told me when I was a boy. He probably thought it was too much for you to deal with at such a tender age. And yet, that same age, my parents willingly made me an orphan so that I would become Batman. Bruce, how are you feeling? Better, Cal. Not much better, but better. Beginning to understand what my father and mother and father did, and why they did it. There was no way I could have become the Batman without that childhood trauma. Yes, I would have inherited my father's wealth. I could have continued his good work. But Gotham would have been left without its greatest weapon. A sword made as strong as it was only because it was tempered in fire. And when I think of all the other lives the legacy of Batman has touched, Dick, BJ, Barbara, Clark, and all the lives they have touched, I just hope it was everything my parents thought it would be when they paid for it with their lives.
That is so good.
This is one of my favorite moments here. They went knowingly to their death.
They knew because they knew it had to happen for the good of Gotham.
Because it's right. It wouldn't have been the same.
Mm-hmm.
You needed their death.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of my favorite twists. It's like, but it only works. It only works if you have this in the Silver Age because of that machine.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way it could have fit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's the mini.
That is really good. I like that one.
So how was this whole mini for you?
This one This one was really, really, really solid and stellar. I love this one.
It really was.
That last one really is my favorite part of this whole mini.
Yeah, this is my favorite part too.
Yeah, because how much love a parent could have for their kid, knowingly going to their death because they know what it's going to turn Bruce into.
And it doesn't even count everyone else that Bruce has helped.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like, because he's like, I like this way. They have an idea he does a lot of good as Batman, but they're like, he can't do that. He needs us to die in order for him to become Batman.
Yeah, like you said, anything else wouldn't have been effective at all.
Absolutely, like, bravo. And the Hal Jordan parts, I'm like,
yep.
Particularly the part where the yellow impurity is all in your head.
Exactly, because that was always an implication. Here's what I think Byrne did. He looked at the fact that Kyle didn't have the yellow impurity at all, and he probably jumped to this conclusion.
Yeah, because this is before Jeff explained what the yellow impurity was.
Exactly, and yet still Hal takes out Sinestro.
With the available information, yeah, I buy that. And again, I love how even his first time, Hal is demonstrating why he is the greatest of the Green Lanterns.
It was basically a case of he just needed to be president first.
He just needed to be POTUS first. Exactly. I love that. And again, I know I said this when you and I briefly talked about it last time. By the way, Lex Luthor's brain being Metallo is great.
It's like, what happened to his brain?
Yeah, I know. The other thing that I really, really dig is the idea that Clark becomes Nightwing.
Yep. Exactly.
Particularly if you know like the story of how Dick became Nightwing.
Exactly. Also, Stevie, great character.
Oh yeah. Whoa, she is like the star of this.
She is. And now I can say the fact they introduced this link between them, but it didn't really go anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, this proves to me that it's not hard to give Wonder Woman a daughter. You just have to properly write it.
Yep, and again, I think both of these minis have remind us Byrne was a great creator. Is a great creator still.
Yeah, he is. Again, it's like those small things are like they're pretty big things, but it's like when he doesn't have that other stuff like that. In other words, that one thing from 3, it's like it's really solid stuff.
You also keep forgetting about, again, besides the one thing in Fantastic Four run, his whole Fantastic Four run is a classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Wonder
again,
Woman is one as well.
Yep. And now that you're reading through his Wonder Woman world, I got to add, does that add a little more context that it probably, the thing in 600, Action 600, more like it was less to screw Perez and more beat that. It's 600. I'm doing the big issue. I want Darkseid. That's all it was. Not like
no, the Darkseid part is fine. That's not the issue. The issue is they were clearly building into like a relationship with Superman and Wonder Woman, and then all of a sudden it's like they pulled the rug from under them.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think it was a case of Burns like, that's not the story I want to tell for 600.
Yeah, and again, it's like, yeah, I understand the context, but I don't have to respect that.
Oh no, definitely not.
However, well, let me be clear. The rest of his Wonder Woman run so far is really actually solid.
It is, and again, I even like some of his original villains here, like Ragnarok and everything.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool idea, and a lot of these villains are really well designed. And that Nightwing suit is honestly pretty peak.
It's a mixture of Superman and Batman.
Yeah, exactly. It works.
He has this, and the funny thing is, remember, he comes up with this before he even knows that he's an L. So he had that little side thing, and everything.
And also that like Hawk design for the essentially Hawk Girl. That's again really
Blackhawk. Yeah, Blackhawk. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And again, I love how we go through so many flashes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, another one.
Yeah, another one. But again, the handling of the Green Lantern is so good. Just so much of this. And again, it is a little bit kerfuffle, but wait, we already know that Kyle was still a Green Lantern by the time of it. Basically, it's made clear he doesn't accept it right away by the time Superman comes back. But I also love how when it comes to Amanda, which again, we'll see more of her, she was, the reason why she went on that rampage, she was raised by her criminal father. So of course she's going to think, my father's a good man.
Yeah, she's not gonna see the bad part of him, which, and that's normal.
Exactly. So that's part of the reason why she was given a lesser sentence of only 10 years.
Yeah, because you could always like use the argument that like he, for lack of a better term, groomed her to be a villain. In other words, and it's not necessarily her choice.
Yep. And I do also like, they made clear she's 18 by that point, so now she is 28. But I also like that. Yeah, the two fell in love while they were in prison. She was in prison.
Again, that's really cool stuff. I like that.
Yeah, and they were so much in love, they're already like, okay, let's go get married.
Yeah, exactly.
But
actually, I love the line where he goes, we'll be able to tell our grandkids all their stories. And he goes, I think you're forgetting two steps. Two really important steps.
Yeah, I love that. It's like kind of jumping the gun there, aren't you, Amanda? But now this here, I'll tell you this. I think this is Selena because of what this whole scene here, what we find out in the next mini, it has to be Selena. She is too much thinking in the long game. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. That'll be a surprise. But I'll tell you this: she's playing her boys, and only in a way only Selena would.
And let me be clear: when we were going through this, in my head, I imagine it's Selena.
Yeah, same here. But and again,
partly because that's always the love interest. Because someone put in the comments of one of my on my videos, it's like, why does Selena work and not distract from Batman's mission? And I go, because
she's in the middle ground.
She's linked with the mission because he met her during the mission,
and she loves both sides of the mask.
She loves both. One of them is not a contradiction of who she is, as opposed to like Wonder Bat, if you will.
Now to make it clear, Silver St. Cloud does love Bruce and accepts Batman. But it's Bruce she loves more than anything.
It's like, personally, I've never really read a Silver St. Cloud story, so I don't. It's like
I'm just telling you that if you read it, that's pretty much what it is.
The other love interest that I've read of, but obviously it didn't work out, is Jezebel Jet.
But she was evil in the first place, so.
Well, yeah. Hence it didn't work out.
But and Talia, she doesn't. She loves the detective.
No, I think she would also love Bruce. There have been some writers that have indicated that she loves both. When she's not being character assassinated, let me put it to that way, she's not that bad. And that's one of the things that Britt and I did when we covered because we covered Batcat and Bruce and Talia, and she's been dealt a bad hand by DC. Let me put it to you that way.
Now, I would say the one downside with this is that we don't get much of Diana in this.
Yeah, but we also get a lot of Stevie, and this is mostly about the kids, so I see what it's going for. And let me put it to you this way. Again, if it's more of Stevie, I'm fine with that.
Stevie is good, and
I like Stevie.
Yeah, and again, that whole bit about her being stuck in ancient Greece for 1,000 years.
That's really cool.
Yep, and I'll be honest, this was the first time I ever heard about the whole being, lose your power when your bracelets are chained together by a man.
That was a golden age thing, at least I think.
It was, and once again, we get the whole, you only have half the powers.
Yep, I'll give you that.
Which is more significant for Stevie than it is for any of Clark's kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And even though she says there's still more enough to deal with you, I'm sorry, even with Diana, it's still a significant, dip compared to Clark's power.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this isn't demigod Diana. This is none of that. This is regular Diana, and the kid has half her powers, her strength and everything. As impressive as that is, compared to a Kryptonian.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so again, boy, BJ going nuts.
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah.
That was terrifying.
And I like, here's the part that Byrne does that like subconsciously indicates what he's going for. I don't know if this was intentional, but I'm detecting this. Notice how his bat suit looks very robotic and non-human.
Yep.
I
think
think that's
intentional.
intentional. Yeah, exactly.
I
Where he's like, no, he's behaving more like a robot because he's going off of the absolute justice, if you will. He's like, no, it's like a cold, calculating like decision on what justice is.
Yep. And again, I do like that. Yeah, he and Melee did get married, and she was there to help out.
And again, Bruce is the one, by the way, ironically, that needs someone to bring him back into being a human.
Exactly. You mean BJ or regular Bruce?
Both.
Both. Yeah, definitely. But although, like, again, this doesn't contradict later on. He's like, oh yeah, I know I'm adopted. Then he's like,
here's the thing.
Hey, what?
It's like a lot of this when we're going through this, and I see like the changes it makes because in Elseworlds it can make changes, obviously, but it's like the changes all like, oh, that makes sense. I can buy that. Because there are some Elseworlds that when they change stuff, like because Superman becomes Batman, Lex Luthor becomes the Joker, and I go, what? But it's like with this, everything follows. It essentially follows the logic of the divergent point. I go, oh, okay, this makes sense.
And I'll say this as well. The best part is you can fit these chapters in between the first book's chapters.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's a more complete story.
It's seamless. And I wonder if they do that, if they ever did this in an omnibus.
Nope. Unfortunately, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
It is just the typical order, but people have made fan-made omnibuses of it.
And you know what? Going through this, I may actually order the omnibus.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cheap actually. It's only $75 full price.
For an omnibus, now that is very cheap.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, that's because it's like 12. It's 20 issues only.
Yeah, it's not that much.
But yeah, so trust me. Now here's the big question: which would you say is bigger and is the better story? This or the first mini? Or is it hard to say and just simply combine them into one?
I can't make that because here's the thing. They're all telling one story. So really, it's like, this is, do you know what this is? This is kind of like we have an event and then you have a separate trade that has like all the little tie-in stuff and all the little
that's what this is.
Tissue. It comes together to tell one complete story. So I really can't compare them.
I can't. Also, I say we didn't praise it enough. The art is gorgeous.
The art is Byrne is a fantastic artist. Even on Wonder Woman, it's so detailed.
Yeah. Now, is it perfect? No, definitely not. This is not as the greatest.
His women have same face, and again, it's like even in the Wonder Woman book. Again, I don't like the way he draws Cassie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, his men also have it. He's unfortunately an artist who has same models he goes back to.
Yeah, which, okay, as long as he makes them different enough, I can buy it. But again, it's like in terms of what he can put on a page, there are some writers, dude, that when I do, it's like Perez was one of these, Jimenez is one of them, Byrne is one of them, that I'm like, how the hell do you maintain a regular schedule and still get these out for monthly books? How does this
exactly
happen?
By the way, I love Hal Jordan being the ring bearer.
Yeah.
I think I guess that's an appropriate job if there ever was one.
If there's ever this one person that's like, is your job to be a ring bearer?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, over now, the next mini is when things get a little wonky. Yeah, this one's going to jump. I'm just going to show the covers by centuries.
Oh, God.
Which keep in mind, we've already seen how much can happen between 10 and 11 years, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be the one downside for this book. It's too big of a gap.
Yeah, because then it's like, what?
Exactly. And now, thankfully, most of the cast we have are immortals.
Well, yeah, because
by now,
well, also Diana. So I'm like, yeah, okay, there you go.
Well, Diana, Bruce, and again, Byrne's going with Kryptonians are immortal under the yellow sun.
Yeah, that's always been my like headcanon. I don't know if it's canon now, but
not anymore. No.
I always kind of go off where we're like, he's always going to remain relatively young or like physically young under a yellow sun.
The most he'll have is the sideburns.
Yeah, he'll have the gray sideburns, but he's not gonna get like older. And a lot of people say he'll age significantly slower, like in Kingdom Come.
Yeah, the fact it took until this, way in the future for him to gain, this long mane says a lot.
Exactly.
But yeah, so next time we'll be going over now here's the other thing. All of these other ones were prestige. These ones, fortunately, are just going to be regular issues. So it's going to be 12 regular issues. So basically, the equivalent of 6 prestige issues.
Okay.
But yeah, so next time we'll be going over the end of the trilogy as we go. And I'll tell you this book didn't need to happen. With the exception of finding out what Mrs. Wayne tells Bruce and a few other, and BJ and a few other things here and there. This book did not need to happen at all.
So it's one of those examples of like a quote unquote sequel that didn't need to exist.
Yeah, again, with the exception of filling in some of those dangling plot threads, which does not get contradicted at all. It's completely worthless by the end, and you'll see when we get to the end of it. But yeah, so any other final thoughts before we wrap?
Pretty solid.
So yeah, thank you all, and thank you, Jared, for joining me. Thank you, everyone else, and we'll see you guys on the next one.